Do you feel you're listened to? Do you feel you're listened to? We do a lot of talking and we do a lot of influencing, but do we listen much? And the content. Well, I started exploring music. I can remember playing the same album over and over again because it was so much texture, so much intricacy. Can I name the album? I'll name it. Styx, Grand Illusion. I put that on. I put the cans. I go home and I put the cans on and listen to it for hours. And hear the complexity of the synthesizers, the percussions, the guitar tracks. Incredible. Pink Floyd was very intricate. It was a lot of going on there. The deep listening. So we're trying to convey things in music, maybe a theme or something. Well, we got point out things, but we're doing mantras of noise. I don't like running him down. I really like Neil Young, but I was questioning the grunge guitar. A lot of gain on the amp, and it is getting a mantra out there. But I started playing very intricate guitar, like more Lightning Hawkins, Steve. I mean, getting really into counterpoint on acoustic guitar and electric and piano. We've lost that. And synthesizers are, single notes, modulations, and everything. We integrating and making it more conducive. Do I like drum machines? No, I dropped them. It took me a long time to develop a rhythm, a stomp rhythm, because it's playing intricate guitar. Chris Smithers just uses a stomp board. It's very raw. It's very organic. It goes along with the music. Give him a listen. He's an acoustic guitar player out in the States. But percussions were always driving the music. Like Keith Moon, incredible drummer. And we talk about bands not being signing up. I think looping or anything, or solo artists could be could change the thing. I think we could keep the instrumentation separate, and we tend to simplify looping or tracks. I like the complexity of a guitar track, the complexity of a keyboard. But we seem to blend it. We have to narrow it right down. Well, maybe we got to narrow down the instrumentation and just get down to a percussion that's natural. I've used drum machines. I don't like them. Why? Well, as a blues artist, there's no feeling to it. It's just straight meters, and then you're playing around it. The heart got a little bit of fluctuation. Blues guitarists, they got piano players. They got their own rhythm, and how do you get to that point? Well, I've been playing guitar since 1964. That's a long time. But I don't want to hear that long-term care. You put him in long-term. I'm not ready to croak. I'm leaving country because that's their ideology. They don't want to hear from us old people because we might be able to help you. That's another thing I don't like, this long-term care home. The economics doesn't make sense. Am I senile? Oh boy, shut up, Pierre. See, that's the reason why I'm leaving. I don't want to have him in my life, and that's what I'm facing with this type of healthcare system. I'm a healthcare worker outside the centralized healthcare system, rubbish like that. At one time, I think it was all right, but I think it's garbage now. I really think it's garbage. I'm not ready to give up on life. So I do the things I love, and that's what I'm big about. And I love complexity in music. I'm thinking we could expand it more and making a lot better music. When I see David Gilmour and his daughter out, I really get impressed. And this is change that I've been waiting for. A foundation of daddy with his young daughter. Beautiful stuff. So she's got the foundation. It's like Gordon Gould had a foundation of Bach, but he took it beyond that, and it was Gould's music. But modern music is, we got so many lessons from life, what makes complexity in textures and tapestry music. So I read a book by Cal Newport. He's really expanded his scope. First, he is digital minimalism, and I hardly use social media. I'm very careful. I clean my cache on YouTube because I notice that things I don't want to see there, they're biased to me. Once you start formulating ideas of what you want, you see Eric's fluff. There's not much. The second book, Deep Focus by Carl Newport. What am I getting into? All you people with ADHD, your brain can be retrained. And then, what's the next one I'm reading there? It's 3 books he's got. I like his detail as a technologist. The Millennial Unicorn. So am I against millennials? No, I like the unicorn type that never bought into getting on these addictive apps. No, they didn't come out addicted like that. They came out addicted years after, and they just saw it as a way of manipulating you. So when you tell me you're broken, young people, I really don't think you are. I think you need to work on the neuroplastic part of you. I think you're very intelligent, but you're a lost generation. I'm not running you down. I've lived through addictions. I've had alcohol addictions. I never got really into drugs, but cigarettes were a kicker. Do I drink now? Yeah, I drink within moderation. Anything can be addiction, a behavioral addiction, and social media is. And I walk around and listen to a lot of younger people, mainly young women, because some of this polarization of bias is going against women's rights. You know what I mean? And they start questioning, do you feel the control, they say to their boyfriend? Well, AI can be controlling, or you can tailor to keep the humanitarian part of yourself in there, who you are. But everything has a foundation, and who we are, we don't know. Wow, as an energy healer, I had to heal myself and forgive the program. I go from a military background. My parents were military. And I learned to take those things up. But now I question the healthcare system. And I used AI to see if I was right about this. It's quite a contrast. A military nurse in Papua New Guinea comes in and goes through the Canadian single payer healthcare program and burns out, like most nurses are burning out. She had snakes hanging from the ceiling there. She had diggers shot up in Papua. Japanese owned half the island, and she burned out in the system there. Can I tell you, I was burning out in horse racing. Why? Because we buy too many horses, and somebody said that to me. Oh, your problem, you were the breeder. I might have been. I don't think so. I wasn't breeding like that. No, understanding horse breeding and raising horses is a different field. But they were overbreeding. The stables were run by and too many horses, just like nurses have too many patients. And we put a lot of reliance on the single payer healthcare system. Meanwhile, around me, I'm not running down. We need them, but we don't want just a repair shop. We want something that integrates and gets you well, and then work on staying well. A follow up, but they just leave you once you get so far, and they don't ask you anything else that you need. Like I need a house cleaner because I got PTSD still. Well, I had. I'm leaving here and going up to Auto making complaints about the healthcare system. And I have made a decision to renounce citizenship because of this. Because it's not keeping up with the times. Australia has a Medicare, and what the heck that system? Well, you keep them well. Is it an investment to pay a bit more? I think it is. I use a lot of things to keep myself well. Piano, guitar. I study courses on health, psychology, and I walk. Last night I'm 70 years old. I did 5 miles in the night, and I got a good night's sleep. And then sometimes I go out in the labyrinth and meditate. Why? Because I notice our mind is always being a mirror when we're doing a walking meditation. And when we get aware of the fact that we want to get ahead of ourselves, you know what I mean? Finish it. And that's the way we are. It's the mirror of our mind. So I try to slow it down. And where's it affected me? Slowing down guitar parts, slowing down piano parts, slowing down everything I'm working on, and then bringing it up. Slow it down, take it apart, put grace notes in. That's a benefit of mindfulness and meditation. And you can't throw the baby out with the dishwater. I mean, this is all one. But less social media is a darn good advantage. And now we got AI. You hear people say it takes you over. Well, I see AI porn robots. I don't think that's. You can have that. I don't want that. But I use AI as a voice to look at biases and come up with ideas and write things. If I'm writing lyrics for a song, I just write down the phrase and then let the AI maybe generate one phrase at a time. So I'm coming up with my own concept so I don't let it run wild. You get me? Chunk it down. But I don't see a problem with it. I've demonized it. That's what we tend to do. We demonize everything without critically looking at it and exploring possibilities in it. Is it useful or is it not? Well, it's a time saving, useful tool that replaces all my other apps. If I use 211, they won't find me anything. Use this, it's Bang, I got a pile of numbers, what I'm looking for. That's what I like about it. And it's better than a search engine. You just ask the right questions. AI is a good tool. Now, some of it, if I mention, like I'm really reading a lot of Mark Carney, it can't discern that I'm a nonpartisan. I just want to learn the economics of Mark Carney's book value. I know he's polarized politically. It's just discerns that maybe it's a partisan thing. I can't seem to separate that out. So it's interesting. Sometimes you gotta just read the book, take notes, and put it down in sections. You might get something out of it.